No.
This past semester, I was lucky enough to take an introduction to nonfiction English class that was required for my major. Throughout this class, cross-cultural communication was the major theme discussed. We read multiple memoirs, mainly written by linguists, that studied the way different cultures communicated with one another, when commonalities a lot of times were very hard to find. One of the books that really piqued my interest was a memoir by a linguist and missionary named Daniel Everett, called Don't Sleep, There Are Snakes, Life and Language in the Amazonian Jungle. Everett's job was to go into the Amazon jungle and live among a tribe of people called the Paraha, learn their language, and translate the Bible for them. Translating their language was going to pose a pretty big task. Only one other linguist, a man by the name of Steve Sheldon, had begun translating the remote language. Sheldon gave Everett all of the data he had collected during his time with the Paraha. This didn't help Everett too much. He spent the next 30 years of his life working with the Parahas, learning their language, their customs, and rituals. During this time, Everett was studying their language. He was beginning to find evidence of a lack of words for colors and numbers. Words to describe extended families such as grandparents and creation myths or stories of origin. This really puzzled him because most cultures studied generally possess all of these things. Everett soon found that the Parahas only live in the present. The past and future aren't concepts that they really grasp or care about, for that matter. He deemed this the immediacy of experience principle. Essentially, the Parahas are only sure that things have occurred if the experience happened directly to them or heard it from someone that it happened to. One of the main ideas that Everett is trying to convey throughout his memoir was how much the isolation of a culture can affect their languages, morals, and beliefs. Throughout Don't Sleep, There Are Snakes, Everett portrays the social environment of the Paraha people as something that is vastly different from most Western cultures. He does this by using examples of the immediacy of experience principle, such as the Parahas' lack of creation myths, non-extensive kinship system, along with their indifference to having a savior. In Don't Sleep, There Are Snakes, the immediacy of experience principle is discussed extensively. Everett uses the principle to show the reader how isolation can affect the life of the Paraha people, affect the life that the Paraha people live, along with their beliefs and morals. Everett says that declarative Paraha utterances contain only assertions related directly to the moment of speech, either experienced by the speaker or witnessed by someone alive during the lifetime of the speaker. This idea causes the Parahas to lack creation myths and history, which are typically present in most cultures. Everett states no one had ever collected or heard of a creation myth, a traditional story, a fictional tale, or in fact any narrative that went beyond the immediate experience of the speaker or someone who had seen the event or reported it to the speaker. The stories of their creation and their history would have no relevance to them because they do not know anyone that experienced these events firsthand. Similarly, the Parahas also have essentially no number system or words for colors. They have terms like blood is dirty for black and it sees for white. They believe because colors and numbers are abstractions, they cannot physically be touched and immediately experienced, that there is no need to fully comprehend them. Everett notes, I believe color terms share at least one property with numbers. Numbers are generalizations that group entities into sets and share arithmetical properties rather than object particular immediate properties. As a missionary, Everett's task at hand during his time in the Paraha village was to translate the Bible and evangelize the Paraha people. One of the first things that Everett observed about the Parahas when he arrived was how joyful they all seemed to be without having much at all. He said, the most striking thing I remember about seeing the Parahas for the first time was how happy everyone seemed. Smiles decorated everyone's face. Not one person seemed sullen or withdrawn. He soon realized that the undertaking of converting these people was going to be no easy feat. Because the Parahas were so content with their simple lives, they didn't feel the need for a savior or a higher power. Everett notes, if people don't perceive a serious lack of some sort in their lives, they are less likely to embrace new beliefs, especially about God and salvation. The Baraha lack the desire for a relationship with God because they are not concerned with the afterlife, because they don't think into the future and so satisfied with life. To the Baraha, it isn't necessary to have a higher power to save them from their sins. Throughout the memoir, Everett reiterates how much culture and social environment of a group of people can affect the way their life and language came to be. He uses countless examples of the immediacy of experience principle, like their lack of creation myths and their indifference to God, to convey the idea that the isolation of a group of people can have a massive effect on their cultural morals and beliefs. Ultimately, the reader will come to understand the importance of life and language and their influence on a cultural belief system. The end.